FLIKO!
Yo, Kenny, what's your take on staying motivated when you're feeling overworked? The absolute biggest killer for me for inspiration or for good ideas or for finishing ideas is whenever I'm overworked. The best way to work is to make the best things you can with your time. And if you have enough time to fill with multiple sessions, 12-hour days, 14-hour days, whatever, and you're starting to feel exhausted and it feels like a chore to keep going on your music or to open up a new session or to play an instrument, it should never feel like a chore. Every moment of making music is not always inspired. Every moment that you're making beats doesn't always feel like you're on to something crazy and it's going to be, you know what I mean, the greatest thing you've ever done. Sometimes you're sitting there and you're not sure, and then you turn a corner, you change one sound, you do something by mistake, all of a sudden things get really good. Things get worth it. But to be honest, burning yourself out is a really fast way to make a bunch of terrible stuff. Even though you're working every day, you're not getting anywhere because creativity and making creative decisions, you depend on sleep to do that. To read people's body language, to understand what's going on in the studio or how someone's trying to convey something to you, or an artist you're working with, a songwriter, you're working with another producer. Whenever you don't sleep, whenever you're not getting the right amount of rest, you start to lose the ability to make creative decisions. That's the first thing that goes. You got to make sure you're using your time smart. And this is something I struggle with. You got to know that sometimes it's more worth it to get sleep than to go to the session. And it's hard to realize that, especially whenever you're like me, if you really don't take it for granted and you have all these opportunities coming your way and you feel like turning down an opportunity is you not being gracious. And if you turn down an opportunity, you might never get it again. I get it. You miss the shots you don't take. I understand that mindset can kill you. But when you're overworked, you're never going to be inspired. When you're doing way too much stuff, you're not making your best stuff. And it's just the problem. Whenever you start doing quantity over quality, you start to realize that. So I'd say take your time where you can. And I know it's hard to pass up on opportunity or pass up on another session or another thing, but you want to do your best work. You want people to remember you from how good your work is, not just how much work you did. Hey, Kenny, you've spoken hypothetically and from experience about putting all your time into music. I've tried my best, but I still feel like I need to take a day off every couple of days. How do you sustain your work ethic? You got it by taking days off. I used to burn out, get back, get super motivated, put my head down, work, burn out, get back, and just do that cycle over and over for years. My burnout period got farther and farther away, but I used to just work as much as I could every day, every week, as far as whoever I was dating would let me, you know what I mean? Whatever my responsibilities were and my real life would let me, whoever my management was, whatever my team was, if they didn't stop me and tell me to take a day off, I would work as much as I possibly could ever since the age of 25, and I would burn out. And to this day, I still, even with all the years of going to therapy and working on it and trying to regulate my schedule and pay attention to my health and this and that, I still overbook myself. Like I was saying, I still have weeks where I put way too much on my plate. What I say when I say give all your time to music is an extreme sentence so that you go from normal to not extreme, but somewhere in the middle. If this is all the way far to one side and this is the middle, if you just get to right here, if I'm telling you put all your time into music and that means you just put a little bit more time into music, then I'm winning. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's how negotiation works. If you have something that someone has $5,000 is what they listed it for, and you offer them, you know what I mean, $3,000, I'm probably willing to pay $4,000. But I'm trying to bring you down as much as I can just to see. That's how I feel when I talk to you guys. Sometimes I'll tell you, hey, stop going out, stop partying, stop wasting all your time chasing people about dating, this and that. Spend 6 months, spend 1 year doing nothing but music or nothing but editing, nothing but designing, whatever it is that you do. If you do that for 1 year, you'll change your fucking life. Because everybody's schedule is divvied up between work, school, music, family, relationship, friends, working out, going out. That's how everybody's schedule is. And music gets fit in where it can get fit in. If you start cutting a bunch of things out and start doing way more of music, you cut out 4 of those things. Unfortunately, family. Unfortunately, friends. Unfortunately, relationship time. Unfortunately, whatever it is. And you start replacing that with music. Obviously, that next 6 months, you're going to have done 3 years worth of music. If you were going at a normal pace and you only had this much time for music, but for the next year you made this much time for music, that's like 5 years all into one. Does that make sense? Is the math adding up? Sometimes when I say that, I just say that to mean music should be a priority. And that's only if you're really trying to do this on a big level, you're trying to get to the next step and you wonder why it's not happening, or you want to do this to pay your bills. The competition is steep. It's very steep. And best believe there's people in this chat and people in our Discord and people that are friends with me and that I know who are willing to give anything. And that means not just time, but anything to make it happen. And you gotta at least be aware of that. You don't gotta be never not working, the most extreme person ever. It's not about that. It's not about spending no time doing anything but making music. But push yourself, you know what I mean? Push yourself where you can in a healthy way. Getting sleep, taking days off is a smart thing to do. Taking time for yourself, taking time to live your life so you have something to make music about and you have something that you actually get inspired about so you go back to make music. That's very important. So it's just scheduling all this shit is gnarly. I understand it, but you guys are on the right path. You're already thinking the right way. Advice. As a producer with no portfolio / reputation, how do I connect with artists online because I'm in a rural area? No reputation, no placements, no reputation. I think it's very similar to what I was just saying. You need to create that kind of reputation. You need to create that kind of interest in yourself, which would mean making music with whoever you can, whether it's in our Discord with people and starting to get your name in something like the Beat Battle here or something online where you get a whole comment section to start seeing how talented you are, or you start working with smaller artists and posting it nonstop so everyone you know and everybody around you sees the music you're making and starts slowly telling people that you are onto something, and then maybe somebody else should work with you, and then you get a little bigger and this and that. It can all happen on the internet. It can all happen in real life, but you got to start working with people to build a reputation. You know what I mean? You don't just get a credit score out of nowhere due to like how good you managed money the rest of your life. You have to build credit. You got to buy things on a fucking credit card, then you got to pay the credit card back, and slowly you build your credit. It's the same with anything in the music industry. You got to build up that credit. You got to start working with people.
Thank you.
Whether it's on the internet, whatever it is, you got to start making music with people. They don't have to be big people, but you will get the attention of bigger people by working with somebody.